So, welcome to the Real Build. I'm your host, Bill Reiman, your broker builder. And today I got a guest coming from Boise, Idaho. He is a licensed real estate agent in Idaho and has done real estate and development now for 4 years. He values family, faith, friends, and freedom above all things. We have a lot in common there. He has a wife, a 1-year-old son, and a daughter on the way in January. Congrats on that. Many people have
Thank you, man.
many people have financial advisors, but how many people can say they have someone managing their real estate wealth? It is his goal to bring data and knowledge of the market to you so that you can work on long-term goals and plan for your family's future. His services are geared towards buyers, sellers, investors, builders, relocation, and even first-time home buyers. Tyler Smith, I appreciate you taking the time today, brother. Good to have you on. How you doing?
Dude, doing good, man. It's an absolute honor to be on, man.
Yeah, man. I've been seeing your content, and it's been a little bit since I've had a real estate agent on, and I've been obviously with this market. It's been a crazy market. It's not a. I don't. We'll talk about this a little bit more. I don't know if it's as crazy as it was in the spring, but it's still pretty crazy. It's still a solid market. I've seen your videos on that as well, and I agree. So we'll discuss your video, obviously. But before we get into all that, let's talk about you. So who is Tyler Smith?
Man, I am a Southern boy, Southern boy at heart, born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. I left home at 18, went to school out in Arizona, bounced around to California, did a ton of different jobs, lived in a ton of different areas. I even lived in Costa Rica for a little bit. And dude, I've just been loving living life and learning from so many people that I've met along the way.
That's awesome, man. So let's get into your real estate career. So why real estate over everything else? I ask a lot of agents this question because I mean, a lot of people have gotten into real estate lately, obviously, and they come to
Yeah.
find out that real estate is not easy. It actually costs them more money than they're making sometimes, and it's not as easy to get listings. It's not as easy to get buyers through the door. So why real estate? Why'd you choose that?
Dude, I think if you're going to choose real estate, you got to choose it because it's fun. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I chose it. I'm obsessed. Like, I think I can have joy going home and just still like thumbing through the market, even if it's not for a client. Just to get savvy on different areas, what's popping off, what parts of the market are seeing the highest influx in, price increases over the shortest amount of time. I'm a data nerd. Like, I'm a numbers guy. I love math. I like that real estate is just so numbers driven. And I think you got to have joy around that. I mean, if you're trying to fake it, it's going to burn you out because real estate is not a short game. Even with clients, you can't, nothing is a one transaction. Everything is lifetime. Everything is years in this business. It's not days, weeks, or months. So, I mean, you have to have fun, man. And it is a blast for me. I mean, if you don't have that, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, and that's one thing that caught my eye with you, just with your content and everything too, is kind of that long term of how you're playing it. And I think I saw a video that you were doing more of kind of a concierge approach to it, more of, okay, how can I be not only tell people where to go for dinner or help them out with maybe a reservation, but also help them out with their house, help them out finding a lender if they need one, help them out maybe like I do with a home watch business, or help them out in all aspects of it. And I'm a big believer in this. I preach about this on the show all the time, and I hope people take this advice, is that long term and playing that long term, just it it's huge. And here's a prime example. I just sold a house. I listed it for 2,950,000, and I did their home watch for 6 years. I got the listing because I was a part of their life for the last 6 years, and obviously I knew that house more than anybody. We also built that house 6 years ago. I was a part of that initial transaction on the build. So from that initial transaction, keeping that relationship even through Hurricane Irma and helping them with all the the roof tiles they lost. I got my roofer there right away. He had a
Huge.
generator pad that I fixed because it was there was a gap between the wall on it because it was added later on. Long story short, I fixed that for him. Just doing those little things for the last 6 years. He said, "Hey, you know what? Now the market's hot. All my family's back in Michigan. Not many people are coming down here. I think I want to sell my house. We want to talk to you about it." So went in and talked to them, sold their house in a day. Long story short, that's that long-term game. And I
Yeah.
plan on doing the same thing with the next buyer too, saying, hey, if you need home watch, you need somebody in here, I'm happy to do it. If not, just thought I'd offer. So it's so clutch, it's so key. And one of the things I wanted to touch on with you, like in your intro, like I said, you said many people have financial advisors, but how many people can say they have someone managing their real estate wealth? So how are you doing this approach to it as well?
Dude, it's exactly like what you just tapped on. So many people are failing to do, and and the tools are out there, right? Like with home watch and like watching their property and understanding the market in their area, you're getting a good temperature of what to do. Just like if you use a guy at Edward Jones,
Mm-hmm.
like you're trusting them to keep watch on it for you, so that you know when to hold them and you know when to fold them. You know how to handle your asset in the way that's going to be the most advantageous for your family, because real estate today is still the greatest way to generate long-term family generational wealth for the middle class, and it's always been that way, and that's how you get to those upper echelons of having the $1 million home even on the same income. And if you don't have someone managing that asset, you won't know how to play your cards appropriately in the market.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand how real estate can lead to that generational wealth, or how they can build up a real estate portfolio too. And to have somebody like yourself that understands this and that can help them with the starting point. And a lot of it is patience. Real estate is patience, and
Yeah.
a lot of it over years, and it takes time, just like any investment takes time. But I think we live in a world of crypto and all that where people think they can get rich overnight. You can, if you're I shouldn't say luck, but you can. It's possible,
A
but
little luck.
it's yeah, it's also possible to lose everything you put in just like that too. Versus
Right.
real estate,
Right.
it's been a proven fact that it's gone up and up and up over time. Yes, it comes down. What goes up must come down, but it's always had gone even higher than it was in past times. So by you doing what you're doing and kind of teaching that too, and I see like I've been watching your content. Your content's awesome. You kind of do and I love what you're doing because I'm a big advocate on it. It's kind of mixing your personal life with your business, with your
Yeah.
spiritual life, and you're kind of hitting all these points so that people can relate to you. Like when I saw your content too, I related to you because I'm like, all right, he's just like me. He's got, he's got a good personal life. He's obviously biblical. He's got good faith, and he's also trying to hustle and grind and promote himself on, and it takes a lot of balls to do that. So that's why I instantly had respect for you, because I know a lot of people that won't do content just because they can't get
Yeah.
past the what people think mark. And
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story. But no, I mean, what you're doing is awesome. So let's talk about, go deeper into this, like that concierge approach, hitting all these different aspects of a client, like helping the client throughout the process, and then even after the fact with things, and staying top of mind. What are some things that you're doing? Obviously, I see your content too. Let's talk about that. And then even after the fact.
Yeah. So here's what I'll do. Here's what I can say too. I think the biggest thing for anyone to gain from this is, with clients in real estate, it's all long-term game. So as soon as the client gets to feel that you're in it for the short term, that trust factor is going to fall away. So with the concierge approach, you're doing you're doing your full job and more, and you're doing things that are outside the realm of your job. And what I mean by that is, like, if a client needs anything, I'm trying to provide that value for them no matter what, especially if it's inconvenient to me and it's outside the realm of my business. Why? Because I'm getting them in the habit of calling me and using me for everything. And if they're already doing that, then I'm not having to say, oh, please, like, let me sell your house. We did a transaction like 3 years ago. Remember me? No, I have the Tyler Mafia list, man, where we got anything from a nail spa, hair salon, carpet cleaner, you name it. Like, I have gone out to local businesses because people love the local business. People want to, like, especially here in Idaho, where we're, pro medical freedoms and all this, like, we're, biblical state. We want to build that small family that's being just dominated, that's been hit with this COVID-19 and this pandemic. So I'm adding that approach to my business, and that's part of my mafia list, so that customers and clients can feel like, one, they're making a change in the community, and then two, that those values and services are already set forth and provided by me because I'm in the local market and I'm helping them integrate into the community that they're living in. And I think people have a sense of culture, sense of belonging. And I think there's a lot of natural survival takes that we as a person are going to draw to that. And I think that's what keeps people coming back to me in business, because the best way to grow your business is going to be word of mouth, because you get an instant trust. They're hearing about you from someone that they love, trust, or know. You have an instant in versus anyone that's like, I sell millions of houses. It's like, well, if you tell me I sell millions of houses, look, all I know is all you care about is selling millions of houses. What about me? That's the game changer.
It is huge too. And I've constantly preached about this. A lot of people, but unfortunately, people do not like to take the time. They want that instant gratification. They want just to get the sale done and move on to the next. But it's long term, and we preach about this, and you're playing that game of, okay, if I help this person, they're going to recommend me to this person, I'm going to help them, and it just keeps spanning out over time. And that's how a lot of these big, huge real estate brands have been built. You and I joked about Ryan Serhant before this show too, and a lot of people watch he's constantly doing content, but he's also built such a big brand of helping luxury and being that high-end luxury agent that takes care of all these things for people, that people want to use them because they know they're going to have a better experience using them. And a lot of new agents that come in, they see somebody like that and they think that's how real estate is. No, it took him years and years and years to get to that point, but now he just gets, I forget, he did stupid numbers this year. It's just insane what he's done. And he's in Florida, New York. I mean, he's in major markets, West Palm area. But it just was stupid. But it took him years to build that brand and that business. And he's still out there grinding on his feet doing it. He's got a team, but he still shows up too. That's why I got a lot of respect for that guy. But I mean, long term too, I talked about it on my building end. Like, hell, I had a customer randomly, his disposal was a garbage disposal wasn't working, and I knew what it was. He put something down there locked up. I know how, but it's common, some people don't know how to fix that. So I said, he goes, it stopped, it like tripped the breaker, blah blah blah. I go, there's a red button underneath, all you got to do is press that red button. He goes, well, where's the red button? I just sent him a YouTube video showing how to fix your disposal real quick, so I didn't have to go there. And then he's like, it worked, you're the best. This was at like 8 o'clock at night. So just those little things, those little things that you stop. And you could easily say, oh, it's 8:30 or it's 9 o'clock at night, I'm off the clock, I'll answer him the next day. But taking that, it took me not even 5 minutes to answer him, 2 minutes maybe, and got the situation solved. And he's going to remember stuff like that. And when they go to recommend a builder, who are they going to recommend? Those little things matter. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Come on, baby. Touches on our biblical principles. I mean, Christ came to serve, and I think I have to go into this because it's everything. It's like when you're giving value, when you're serving, if you're in it for you, I mean, the client's going to pick up on that. So, I mean, when you do the things like fixing the disposal or whatever late at night, you need to do the things that genuinely, because it's your actions, not just your words. Anyone can go into a pitch and say, oh, I'm going to do everything for you. But when you start doing everything for them, that's when everything changes, man. That's where trust is built. That's where the long term wins are, man. And that's that you got to look at it as a root system. New agents, they're looking for the trees because they just want to see trees. But what I'm doing, like, I got here at like 5:30 my time to prepare for this call, to prepare for the day. And I mean, I'm building that root system. Yeah, no one's seeing it right now, but the roots are just spreading out so that when it does bear fruit, that's going to provide the provision for the years down the road.
And well, when you go into a mindset and back to biblical turn, if you go to the mindset like Christ did too, when you go into a mindset of helping people rather than just worrying about yourself, things happen, things change. When you shift that into all you care about is helping the person and rather than yourself, things
Yeah.
change so dramatically in business. And when I did that and made that shift too, and even with this podcast, giving free content, just not advertising and just doing this consistently, that's changed. I mean, I get people randomly that are like, oh, I heard your podcast on this, it was great, blah blah blah, and then they see my video on this or that. All those are when I changed and shifted to just doing content to help rather than sell, let's put it that way. It's changed big time drastically on what's happening. And it's still, and people with content too, I preach about this because people think it's too late to do it. It's too late to get on Instagram and do video. It's too, everybody's been ahead of the game on that. It's still early. I mean, in my opinion, I think I was talking to a realtor this morning at the gym about it, and I was like, I think there's going to be a shift. He started talking about how he thinks in 5 years, realtors, there will be, it'll be a whole different thing with realtors and how we
Yeah.
sell and so on. Just because I think COVID changed a lot too, to where we're doing a lot of showings that are from a distance and so on. But I told him, I go, to be honest, I think if realtors aren't doing video, they're going to be the ones left behind. I was like, unless you have a big backlog of people that, you've been an agent for 30 years and you got a lot of repetitive business, I think they'll be okay. But as far as a newer agent in this market, the only way to get yourself out there is through content and video and
Yep.
doing the things what you're doing too. And that's what I wanted to go into too. You've been doing a lot of video kind of, I saw one of your recent ones kind of showcasing something happening in your town too. And I know guys like Tom Ferry and stuff preach on this, being kind of that, Gary Vee did too, being that kind of mayor of your town, showcasing the town. And not a lot of agents do this, believe it or not. They don't go to the restaurants and say, hey, this is what I like to have. Here's a great drink that they have here, because people eat that up. You don't think they
Yeah.
would, but they want to see, what's good there, what's the best food. I mean, there's a local Facebook group here that got started. It was during Hurricane Irma. Now it's blown up to like 10,000 people. But it's just like now you see the common questions on there, and I start thinking, if I was full time in real estate, I'd just be doing video off these people's questions too.
All day, man. Why
Like,
not?
yeah, we all have those local town groups. Well, go on your local town group as a realtor, look at what people are asking, and then go do
Yep.
video on it. It's easy.
Yeah,
There's your
man.
content.
That's just another aspect of providing value. You're getting the inside details of maybe even it's the new appetizer that for us it's like Crave just dropped down the street and it's out of this world good. And just like you would tell your neighbor or your friend, that needs to be going to your network. You need to be sharing these little nuggets that you've uncovered in your community with everybody because that's just another value. It doesn't always have to be real estate related. In fact, it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge. I think there's a lot of people not doing it, but and I try and constantly try and think of what I can do construction wise. What questions are people asking in construction that I can do a quick video on to kind of showcase them. I did a whole series on how a house is built down here. I'll probably redo it again because you never know. I mean, and that's the thing with content too. What people don't understand is you can do a video twice. You can change kind of how you do it, but you can do the same
Yeah.
video twice later on because somebody might have missed
Yep.
your first one. So that's another thing is if you're running low on something, go back into what you've already done and say, hey, how can I do this better? And then
Yes.
re-deliver it too. And
Yes.
a lot of people don't do that because they, oh, I already did that. Well, there's a lot of people that didn't that are following you now that didn't see that past one from last year, that if you
Yeah.
redo it, and you're obviously probably better at it now because you've been consistent, it's going to keep going and spreading, going a long way. So,
No question, dude. No question.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing, man. Let's talk about too, like, you're obviously doing a lot of organic social media too. What, let's talk about why social media is so important now more than ever. We started brushing on this. Let's go deeper into it. You're doing more organic stuff like I am too. A lot of people think they got to advertise, but they don't. uh, let's talk about why social media is so important. Then let's also talk about doing more organic video, like you are showcasing like your lifestyle, your family, your
Yeah.
business, like you're hitting all these different things. Why?
To answer the first question, social media is so important because of two things. One, it allows you to remove the veil of yourself and expose who you truly are as a character, constantly providing that value. Because, like you said, like how a home is built, that could be one video, or that could actually, in an Instagram reel standpoint, that could be a series of multiple videos where clients want to come back for more and come back for more and engage with you. Because all social media is engagement. I know we hear that word all the time, but that word is everything, man. Engaging with your audience, having them engage back with you, you're building that relationship base. In fact, I would even say that today Instagram is our best CRM to date because it is a organic way to engage with your audience, talk to them, message them, and video within. I mean, even especially with stories and responding to stories, I'm responding in video. I think text is overly used,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual words are only 7% of communication. The rest is going to be nonverbal and your tone of voice. Those are what's really going to be the driving factors in developing trust in a relationship with someone else. So if you're limiting yourself to just texting your clients an auto text or just an email, you're only getting 7% out there. And if you really think of that, that's why social media and Instagram is amazing, because with stories, with reels, with posts, you can show your family, you can engage that way and respond that way. Like if I'm responding to someone, it's awesome to respond with the story. You're responding with your tone, your reactions, and building long-term rapport. It's gold if you use it right.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, they can reflect back on something you've done. They can look at what you are currently doing. They can see. I mean, social media is basically showcasing you and what you do and how you do it. People are going to buy from you because they like you. I've been asked, should I target more of my personal page more than anything? Well, I'm a big believer in brand versus having a business page. A lot of people throw out a business page out there and it's just like in building, like, yes, I agree. Have a business page where people can go and locate you and look up. You can also share the content from your personal brand page to that business page and then have them both going. But people buy from a person. So I'm a big believer in, like you're doing, like myself is doing, branding yourself first. People are going to like you and they're more than likely going to buy from you after seeing your content. Rather than
Yeah.
going on your business page and buying, seeing everybody within the company. So,
Yep.
yeah, company promotion is important, but brand, is more important in my opinion too, because when they're hiring me, they're hiring me. They're not hiring the actual company I work for. And that's the thing with real estate now too. You have all these different companies now, Remax, EXP, a lot of personal companies too. In the end, I mean, the big brand names used to matter, like the Remaxes and all that. They used to matter, but now more and more than ever, people are just, they want to do business with people. They want to do business because
Come
they
on,
like
man.
you.
Yep.
They trust you as a real estate agent. They have heard about you. And I don't know the last time I've asked what company I work for. If it's a Remax or an international company, like, I don't remember the last time I've been asked that, because it doesn't matter anymore. The brand matters. And,
Yeah.
that's what I've been trying to build for the last, I don't know how many years, like yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like to your point, man, I'd say like I've tried the business Instagram page and then my personal page. Honestly, it's hard because you get lazy and then you're doing both and you have crossover on a lot of both. So
yeah.
for me, it was like I had the same people seeing the same thing posted by different accounts,
Yeah.
or I have to create organic content for both, which is going to make me lazier on each platform because you're divided. So better to keep it all in one place, powerhouse it, keep content going. That's why, I believe, and I never bought followers. I never did any of that. I've just engaged. There's a good program called $80.com. Super cheap. You can search restaurants, hashtags in your local area. And then as a realtor, I can find the people that are engaging with those areas that are close to me, close to my geo farms and where I want to conduct business, start plugging myself into them from the local venues that they're engaging on and engage with them on those common platforms until where I can pull them onto my platform. It's a slow process. Everything is in real estate, but over time, this thing begins to snowball and your network becomes who you want it to be. Because one thing's great content, but the other thing is you need an audience to disseminate and receive it. So like you got to go fish too. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that's $80.com, you said? What was the website?
$80.com.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
It's gold, man. So it basically syncs to your Instagram account. You're on your laptop or your computer, so you can type faster. And you're basically logged into your Instagram and you're engaging on $80. So you're going to the hashtag profiles and it's like a grid like on your desktop. So you can boom, 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 boom. You're engaging with 80 people a day. That's like going to transform your business
Wow.
beyond what you wouldn't believe because everyone's going through their normal day getting a notification from Tyler Smith Sr., or Bill.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna use that for sure too. Wonder if I could use that on
Oh,
probably a
wow.
construction. And so it's just hashtags too. That just feeds you hashtags where people are engaging more on.
Exactly. So like it gives you so much data. I mean, if you're a data guy, like you can get into it, but you're searching where are people engaging the most, what hashtags in your area, what restaurants and what hashtags are they pulling out. Like, so then your goal is to not only you're finding your exact client that you want to represent. So it's like you get to be specific on who you are. Like with Ryan's here, it was luxury. He's going to luxury brands, luxury
Hmm.
venues, luxury restaurants, and you're pulling that clientele, and you're doing a soft relationship entrance into their life from a common platform, whether it's a restaurant, a hashtag, or whatever, and you're integrating into their lives, and it's beautiful, man. And those 80 comments, man, I can knock it out now in about like 20 minutes. It ain't bad. And I just engage with 80 randoms in
Yeah.
my area that can start curating business from.
Huh. Yeah, I think I've heard that strategy kind of from a Gary V point of actually engagement building too, to where he said search certain hashtags on Instagram. But I like what you're doing better because it's actually you can locate them in your town versus
Yeah.
just searching random ones. And he said engage, and that should build your following organically too. It takes obviously a lot of time, a lot of patience as
Yeah.
well. That time you're sitting on the couch or whatever, pull out your phone. It's
Yep.
easier said than done too, with you having kids as well, and so
Yeah.
on. But we all have some time in the day to where we can dedicate towards our social platforms as well. I personally don't do it enough. I should, as much as I should be, because you get so engaged in other things with business and so on. It kind of pulls you away, but
Yep.
there's no excuse. I mean, there's always time for everything, in my opinion. Time's of the essence. So I love that. Yeah, that's a great pointer too. As far as I want to ask you this too. In your opinion, what should someone, look for when hiring a realtor? Uh, and I usually ask this at the end, but I want to go deeper into this question because there's so many agents out there, and that's why I'm going to ask you this now. There's just so many agents that and I think obviously real estate gets good, more people flood into real estate, they want to be realtors and so on, and then things slow down, and a lot of realtors kind of go back to what they were doing before because they didn't have as much success as they thought at it. What should those agents do? What should clients look for in an agent, that, in your opinion?
Yeah, no, I think that's an awesome question. When you're selling your house, you're buying with an agent. You're essentially entering into an agreement. It's actually very well compared with a marriage. So you're dating around these realtors to see who you want to essentially be tied to. And so just like you would choose a spouse, like that goes to who do you connect well with, who can you trust, who's going to communicate with you in the way that you need to be communicated, and then how are they going to progress the relationship? What should your expectations be as a seller or buyer? And if your realtor's not giving you what those are and how they're going to deliver on the process or the marketing plan or the communication, you're going to be kind of in the dark. So, like, I mean, question that you could ask as a seller to agents is, how many people are you working with right now? And how often are you communicating with everyone? Like, get a sense, like, if they're like Mr. Millions and millions of listings, you may not want to be that one fish in that pond. It might be not enough for you. You just feel like another cog. Like, here's the key. I'd say this: listen to your clients, and then clients listen to the realtor and what they're saying. If that rapport can be built quick and that trust can be built quick, go with your gut on that. That's going to be a good move for you. If a realtor comes in, realtors have a bad name, Bill. Like, people think they're arrogant, they're cocky, they've come to all this money. If your realtor's saying, I'm your hero, I'm saving your day, like you need me, no, screw that guy, dude. They need to be coming in like Yoda and saying, hey, Bill, look, I want you to be Luke Skywalker. I'm just going to show you how to use the Force. Let me be your guide. You give me what you need, and I'll just provide the resources or the concierge that you need to accomplish your goals as the hero of this story. That's how it should be.
I love that too. Yeah, coming in like Yoda, but and it's like you said too.
That
it
was on
is.
the fly, dude.
Yeah, I like
Yoda.
that. But it is like choosing a date. I mean, that's the thing, is a lot of clients don't really research into hiring somebody. They kind of just look them up and go from there. And I think there needs to be more research done, because there are a lot of agents out there like you and myself that go the extra mile. Like, every customer I've dealt with said, wow, thank you, that was a great experience. I mean, that was amazing. I'm not just doing a transaction, giving them a gift card to a restaurant and calling it quits. Like, I'm actually there from beginning to even after we're done, lining them up with certain people that they need to get stuff done at the house. If they need a connection to a gas guy or this thing or a roofer or something, even during the inspections, being on the contractor side, which helps me, I can fix the little things that are, or kind of ease them through, because we all know inspectors, no offense, I've had them on the show, they like to nitpick things, because
Yeah.
that's their job. But in a lot of other agents might freak out about those nitpicky things, but they have somebody they can trust that knows, and these aren't a big deal, we can get these fixed, let's not blow the steel over it, let's just fix it, see if we can get these major things done, and then we'll kind of go from there. And or you need an agent that holds deals together. I've had mortgages, where appraiser had a bad day. One appraise, you got to have the two appraisals. One of them appraised it outright, and the other one, yeah, he didn't seem like he was having a good day. Long story short, he undercut the
Oh, no.
appraisal, and that screwed a lot of things up. But keep calm, structure, keep the deal alive, go to a different bank, which I did for these people. And they were working with a different agent. This was 5 years ago. And now they're working with me and referring me because I held that deal together for them long term once again. And they referred me their friends who I'm working with now. So it's just those little things that you do to go above and beyond work into the future. They work and they help, and that's the thing. Realtors don't think about now, even in construction. I mean, you can't just think about now. You got to keep thinking about future and how you're going to continue to grow. And I think that's a difference maker in any business person, is if you can kind of think out to the future and how you can work now to better the future. That's what's going to make your company explode too.
100%, dude. 100%. You're spot on, man.
Yeah. So let's talk. You said listening. Let's talk about the importance of listening, because you brushed on that a little bit too. It's obviously important, and a lot of people don't do it. So why is listening so important to your customers more? And how's it help sell properties or help them locate a property? What's the importance of listening?
Well, listening, it just shows you're actually in it for them. A lot of people will passively listen, and so they'll only hear the words, which I said earlier. That only accounts for maybe like 7% of what they're actually communicating. When you watch their nonverbals, their tone of voice, and you're actually doing active listening, you're going to pick up on things, so you'll know what to speak into. Like, they could be asking you questions on what's the best thing for me to do to sell their house, but their inflections, they're a little nervous. So you might be better, instead of going, I have the best marketing plan, boom, 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 you might be better saying, yeah, I know, I can kind of see where you're going. Selling a house can be really intimidating. Start hitting those internal needs, because the thing is yes, they have an external need, but when you start hitting their internal needs of what they need in their house for their family, you're paying attention. They got kids, or maybe they're older. So if it's a two-story house and the master's on the top floor, maybe asking them questions. Like, I just had a client who's approved for $1.6 million. They found a house, they're ready to offer on it. They're like, let's go ahead and write the offer. But I started engaging with them as a person. They're older. The master was upstairs, so this is a real example. And I was like, are you guys going to be okay with that? And they're like, well, there's a bedroom downstairs. We might be able to make that work. I'm like, yeah, but that bedroom has the only bathroom on the first level.
Mm-hmm.
So like, your guests and everyone's going to be using that. Is that going to be something that's going to be okay? And then now it's almost, you don't want to be a yes man. You want to engage with them and understand how their needs can be met. Be like, I understand you're a little unsure of that. Like, do you want to dig more? Like, see if you want to dig more on that, and be in their best interest. And that's what's going to give you their faith, their trust. And that takes active listening. And you sell to the internal. You got to sell to they're scared. Like with buyers, it's not just like, oh, I can help you buy a house with the lowest money down. Like, those are all external. But, oh, buying's intimidating. There's a lot to understand. Here, let me walk you through that. You see what I mean? So like, hitting those things, that's how you'll get that long term. That's how you'll build the rapport. That's how you'll get their trust, because you're in it for them, not just in it to win it.
I love that. Yeah, and I highly agree with everything you said there too. The problem is a lot of people don't want to listen. They just want to assume. And when you assume, that's when you miss things, obviously.
Yeah.
And especially with dealing with buyers too. Like, I don't know how many agents I've seen when I had listed properties. They took them into a property I had listed, and I was the eighth showing of that day. Like, 8 showings in a day. Give me a break. I don't care who you are. You're seeing double by the end of the day. You're tired. You're miserable. That house could be a 10 out of 10, and you're seeing it as a 6 because you're tired. You want to go to bed. You're not looking at things the same way, and that's part of listening too. Is like, I'm dealing with people right now, and I told them, I was like, I had a phone call with them on Sunday. I got exactly what they wanted. And they said, hey, we're coming in Saturday. Can we look at a few things? And I said, here's how I work. I know exactly what you want. I am very picky in what I select to do. I'm not just going to take you into houses because, you know, I want to get a deal and you got to put a ton of work into it. I know you just said you don't want to do a ton of work. So unfortunately, in the market right now, there's barely anything out there. There's new construction that's being built currently, but not done. So you can't really see much. And then there's one other house, which we're going to put an offer in on. Long story short, that realtor, yeah, it didn't work out because that realtor was a realtor. And so yeah, it didn't work. They basically, yeah, told me show it. We got an offer on it, but it's not going anywhere. And then I got done showing it, was going to make a full price offer, and they said they took the other offer. It's kind of like you just.
Oh, what
I go,
the heck?
you just told me that that wasn't going anywhere. Why, you got to at least give me like 15 minutes after I show the house to,
Yeah.
but there we go. So who knows what happened with that situation on the other end, but the importance of listening at the beginning is huge. And even in construction, like I'll go back to that too. Like if I didn't listen to what people wanted at the very beginning, like I would miss a lot of stuff in the planning stage. And then when we went into the actual build, they wouldn't be happy because they would have said, hey, I thought I was getting this, because they don't know, they miss stuff too in initial planning. They don't see plans like I do. I've seen a million plans, and there's a lot of stuff that I'll go through those plans in depth and detail with them and just hear them out on what we're missing, what exactly do we need before we go to the next phase, because it's a lot
Yep.
of your money. It's important. You can't just settle, and that's in both real estate and construction. You got to get what
Yeah.
you want, even in a crazy market like today.
Dude, 100%. And like what you're saying, like when you're meeting with those guys, a lot of what that active listening does is like they're going to be saying stuff without actually saying it. And if you pick up on it, like let's say you're going through your building plans or you're doing like a subdivision map and you're doing a lot split, whatever the case, a lot of that stuff goes more in depth, more in detail, and they may just be nodding and being like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you jump in and you're reading that body language, you can engage them and be like, does that make sense? Because this is make them feel comfortable. This is complicated. Does it make sense what I just said here? And then you might pull out of a question that they were maybe uncomfortable asking, and you can address it or maybe shed light on where you need to take the conversation from there because they're feeling uncomfortable. So you're always reading their comfort level,
Mm-hmm.
reading their comfort level. Are they here? Are they good? Are you guys okay? That's that concierge again. Just you're always making sure that real estate and all this is a lot of transition. You want them to settle in the whole time. They're just settled. They're just on for the ride, and they're VIPs here. So you're always checking their comfort.
Yeah, I agree with that because there's the problem is a lot of and I don't, when I say a lot, it's not all, but there's a lot of agents out there that just they'll show them something and then they wait for the client to be like, yeah, this is it, we'll make an offer. They don't listen, but they also don't communicate too. And communicating with them, checking that comfort level like you said is important. Like, is this something you like? All right, what's missing on this house? Okay, let's, and I'm big on, I've been working with a client now, they're in $1.5 million range budget right now. Maybe that budget will increase because we've been waiting so long for stuff to pop up, but
Yeah.
nothing really has. But I know exactly what they want. I can send them stuff. There's been 1.5 million to 1.6 million properties popping up, but I'm not sending them because I know now what exactly they want. And I feel like we're kind of in a limbo, but that's just how I work. I'm not going to just send you crap. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully you bite on it when you've already showed me exactly what you're looking for. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting patiently. And not a lot of realtors would do that. They'd kind of forcefully try and get them to bite on something else so they can move on to the next, which that makes an unhappy client too, and that makes the transaction even harder as well. So it's
Do you
just,
know a ton of realtors that do that? That have like the auto send on, just spamming the crap out of them?
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Terrible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I had a meeting with another guy. There has been no lots that he's looking for in the price range that he's looking for pop up, so I haven't sent him anything, and he wanted me to auto send him stuff too. And I said, well, the inventory is so low, there's really nothing to auto send you. You're just going to get the same things over and over again. And I don't do that.
Yeah.
If I look every day, if something that I think you're going to like pops up, I will personally send it to you.
I
Yeah,
love
I got
that,
to
dude.
take the time to go in and do it, but it's not a big deal. But nothing has popped up. I'm constantly checking the area that this guy's looking in, and there's been nothing. So sometimes I think, these customers, but they see it too. I mean, they got access to Zillow. They're seeing what's popping up and what's
Yeah.
not. So it's just, I I don't know. I don't know if they, I guess it's my approach, it's worked. But other approaches have worked too, where they're constantly spamming them with different properties. So it's
Yeah.
just, I guess, the way you want to do it, but forcing it, I don't think, in my opinion, is the right route to go when you know exactly
No.
what they're looking for. Maybe I'm being stupid about it and not being, but who knows, right?
No, dude, you're spot on, because then you have the risk of being wrong, and then like you said, you're just sending them crap they've already seen on Zillow.
It's a lot of money, yeah, and that's the thing, it's a huge investment, so I think they should buy something. It's patience right now in this market. Unfortunately, it's for a buyer, it's a seller's market, so you have to be patient. Otherwise you're going to
Yes,
overpay for some crap you don't want. That's the thing.
100%.
So, and the sellers, like, I work with both sellers. Hey, more power to you. You got a nice house, you can list it where you want to list it. And it's better to list high than low. And if you are too high right now, you can lower the price a little bit and still make good money on your home. It's a seller's market. So it's just how
Exactly,
how
man.
how it works. Buyers had the power a few years ago, and now the sellers have the power. So it's just, yeah, it's very interesting in strategy and approaches, but yeah, definitely been good conversation there. I want to get into, before we go to wrap this up, I want to get into some personal questions I always ask everybody. So, what about
Okay.
you personally? You have been obviously building an amazing company with Realty Wise and a brand that continues to grow each and every day. What lessons have you learned throughout your journey that we should all apply to our own lives, our own businesses, that can help us grow?
Oh man, it's just like I'm convicted. Even just Bill, being on this call with you, some of the stuff you're saying, it's just like I'm even convicted of it. Like I could do more consistency. I like you were saying, I do well on my plus, but like I can do more. I can do more. So I think with growing any company, it's just you're looking for the things that if you're going to stand out with all this noise, you got to stand out in all this noise. So you're doing the things that are inconvenient because that's what's going to get you to stand out. Whether that's going above and beyond for the clients, engaging on $1.80 for 20 stinking minutes a day, which is frustrating, but you're doing the things that move the needle and you're going long term, baby. You're taking this the whole way and you're loving doing it. Just like tell yourself, like, this is fun, man. Let's go, baby. Let's take it all the way. That's what I'm doing here at Realty Wise, and just sowing into my clients, man. Gotta sow some seeds, man, if you're gonna get some fruit, baby.
I love it. Yeah, I'm guilty of it too, man. With consistency, it is hard. We all have lives, we all have, but sometimes you just have to talk to yourself about getting past the excuses and so on. I've done it with this podcast. We talked about that a little bit. Is I'm 117 episodes, I think, now deep, and there's been many
Come
times
on.
where I wanted to just be like, I'm good. I've done it all, but as I keep going, the more people that keep listening to this and reaching out to me now too. I've been doing it consistently for 2 years, and I'm having people reach out about building issues,
Come
real
on,
estate
dude.
issues, and I'm making shows about those topics. I just did one on pre-hiring a builder, and I've had other builders reach out about how they want to start custom home companies, what to do. So it's been good, man. I know the traction's there. It's been organically growing each and every
Yeah.
week, which very blessed. Thanks to all the people that listen to this. I say it every week. But there's been, even with video too, man, consistency with that. Like, I do my own edits. I subbed it out before, and I don't know, man. There's just something about me doing my own stuff and how exactly I want it. That I do it at night too. Once again, don't have kids, so I got a little more time, but
Yeah.
it's just consistently with my own edits, and eventually I'll sub it out to somebody else and have somebody else take care of that for me. But it's just consistency, man. A lot of people make the excuse of time. I don't have time, but
Yeah.
I'm not a big TV person as much as I used to be anymore, Netflix or anything. Like I like to spend my time away from work, like with my card business, but that's still me generating a
Dude,
revenue.
come on, baby. Car business. You gotta throw into yourself, dude. If it's fun,
Yeah.
do it, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'll take time to edit video, edit my podcast too, but it's consistency and telling yourself to do it because it's working. And when you finally see these things working, that's what'll keep pushing you more and more to be more and more consistent with it. Takes a lot out of
Dude,
you,
100%.
but sometimes I feel like I can be a robot, but hey, that's entrepreneurship, right? So
Dude, it is, man. Hey, so I wanted to tell you too. So I was in prayer this morning, and I did get a word for you. You know, you reached out. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for like the Real Build podcast. And the word, like when I was in prayer, I was feeling from God for you is the parable of the lost sheep, man. And it's like in that parable, what happens? Jesus is explaining to them that if there's 99 sheep and the one goes astray, he leaves the 99 to go and grab the one. So for you, or just any one of your listeners out there, or you're feeling like a little down because not many people watch your YouTube video or your Instagram or your podcast, whatever the case, it's so important to go get that one. They say the heaven angels will rejoice so much more when the one comes back. So when you're disseminating content, even if it doesn't hit thousands and thousands of viewers, just one of those viewers can change your whole career. Just one, man. So that's where you can't let the devil or anyone trick you into not doing what you're supposed to and called to be doing, like with the Real Build podcast, dude. So I encourage you, man, keep going, keep building, keep doing the day-to-day, the mundane that you've been doing, because God's going to honor that in your business.
Yeah, that's huge for me, man. Cause like and I've been getting those signs too, like when you do feel like, and that what you just said is that's crazy. Cause I've been getting those signs of
I felt
when
it, dude. I was praying in the shower this morning. No words praying for you, but that's literally what God was putting on my heart. Like I needed to bring that encouragement to you, even
Yeah,
though
I
today
love
it
that.
felt like you're doing me an honor. It's for me, and I just was like, man, God needs to say this into Bill's life. Like he sees it, he honors it. Go for the one, and he's gonna bring. He says your storehouses won't even be able to hold the abundance that's coming to you, dude.
Amen. Yeah. No,
Come
I
on.
love that. Yeah. And I've been getting those signs too to keep going because it's like right when you think you're like, I've done enough episodes, we've hit every topic. You never hit every
Yeah.
topic in the real estate and construction business, first of all. Second of all, whenever I've got to
Yeah.
that point, all of a sudden I get something on a DM on Instagram of a question or something from the show. Hey, I listened to your show. Your show's awesome, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I got a question for you. And that's what keeps me going too, is the audience. Because I get so many listeners from all over the world, which is crazy to me. I thank all of you that do that and listen to this too. Like and review, comment, 5 stars only. But no, man, it's been good. It's been a good ride. I've met a lot of great people like yourself doing this too. So I appreciate you today. Obviously, to wrap this up too. Um, question I always ask everybody is what exactly, we kind of brushed on this, went deeper into this, but what exactly do people need to look for when buying and selling a home, and why should they choose Tyler Smith as their realtor of choice?
People should look for trust, honesty, and good communication. And for me, it's like I'm point blank, man, black and white. I'll tell you like it is. And I genuinely love what I do, and I'm looking for those long-term relationships, man. I'm looking for those long-term commitments, someone that you can ride with to the end and manage that real estate wealth and that portfolio for you. So I think that's why you should work with me in the end. And I'm not afraid to ask for the business, but I'm willing to earn it at the same time.
Love it. Yeah. And with that perspective, too, I have no doubt that you're going to have a lot of success. And especially with your content, people need to definitely go check out your content. Where can people find you, follow you? I know on Instagram you do a ton of stuff. That's where I saw you. So just drop that.
I would say Instagram first. You can just type in Tyler Smith Senior. I'm a senior. I got a son who's my junior. So Tyler Smith SR. You'll find me
You
right
don't
away.
look like a
Let's just
senior.
connect there. Huh?
I said you're too young to be a senior. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? With a name like Tyler Smith, it's like it's kind of a blessing. It's great to
Yeah,
be a little more Googleable with the most common American name in the world,
that is true. Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And where else? So social media wise, your Instagram, Facebook, I know you're
Instagram,
on.
yeah, Where to Live in Idaho. That's my YouTube channel. I mean, like I said, Bill, I'm convicted too. I'm trying to get YouTube going because it's another SEO. It ties into Google. Google reviews are going to be everything. So you could also type in Tyler Smith Senior, Realty Wise, my company. I'll pop up for Google searches as well. I've been working on that back end. So you'll find me. But I mean, let's connect, man. Let's connect with this audience. I want to meet you guys.
Yeah, this has been awesome, brother. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to. I'm gonna drop this one quick too, because wanted to have an interview, and that's just how I am with my schedule too. These interviews go up quick. I'm not one to pre-record a lot of stuff due to time, but yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, uh, it's been awesome. I mean, a lot of great information too. And I see you're doing big things. No doubt, realty wise, is going to blow up with the content and the commitment that you're doing. So I appreciate you.
Dude, I'm so grateful for you, man. I think we got a long-term friendship here, man, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch over the years, seeing how it goes down in Naples, baby. Let's go.
Let's do it, man. For sure. That's I agree with you 100%, man. And obviously, for everybody listening, I appreciate you all. Like, comment, share. Obviously, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. 5 stars only are allowed. And write a comment. Takes you 2 seconds. Just say how great the show is because it goes a long way. Share it with your friends and family. And I will see you all on the next one.